Good morning, everyone. This week I have the new 2017 Toyota 86. Sorry about the wind, but I've been really excited to drive this car. This is a manual. I drove an automatic a few months ago around the track, and I was really impressed with the suspension tweaks and the changes that Toyota made with the sway bars and the shocks and the dampers. I felt like the car rode a lot better, and it handled so much better and had a lot more mechanical grip. But it was an automatic, and I couldn't really feel the difference with the power and the new revised engine and, that extra 4 horsepower, whatever it is. So I've been wanting to get into a manual for a while, and here we are finally. This is literally the first time I've driven it more than a block. So you are going to be getting my very first impressions on this compared to my BRZ and also other 86s that I've driven in the past. We're about to actually take the car out to M1 Concours in about an hour or so and do some track testing, but I wanted to get a good street drive in the car just before we get going. First thing you'll notice, reverse camera. It's kind of a little bit off to the left, but whatever. It's a reverse camera in an 8.6. I'll take it. One thing I'm noticing is the engine is quite a bit smoother. It's a little bit less rough than the last generation of BRZ and GT86 or FRS. And going over those harsh bumps, this car definitely rides better. Shifting into second, into third, the gear spacing is obviously a little bit narrower with that shorter final drive ratio. Ooh, there's some more torque in the power dip, in the torque dip area. I think I'm gonna like this car. My hypothesis is that Toyota will have done to this car what enthusiasts have been doing to theirs for the last few years, and it'll kind of equalize things. We'll see if that's actually the case or not. You know what, let's there's still definitely a torque dip. You can feel the car kind of come on cam after 4,000 RPM or so, and then it just starts pulling noticeably harder. But it's not like the old FRS or the old BRZ where just you'd put your foot down and nobody was home. This is definitely an improvement. It feels like a tuned BRZ with maybe lightweight wheels, which is kind of cool, because that's basically what I've done with my car. So I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the shorter final drive ratio. I always thought that the gear spacing in the FRS and BRZ was a little bit long and a little bit tall for the power band. I'm curious to see what highway cruising is going to be like, what RPM we're sitting at. It sounds nice. Yeah, I'm not sure. Brake pedal feels good. It's a nice improvement there. So, better ride, much better ride. The old FRS was so harsh. That was honestly probably as big of a gripe for me personally as the engine, was just how unnecessarily overdamped the car was. Oh, power feels great. I love this new shorter final drive. just more fluid, and there's definitely some more mechanical grip from the revised damping and shocks and sway bars. Transmission feels nice and smooth. Yeah, this thing feels awesome. This is going to be a really, really fun car to take out on track later today. Good job, Toyota. Just, they've made little tweaks. So I would say, compared to my car, my BRZ, the ride's about the same with the Coney adjustable dampers that I have on my car. Power might be about the same with my lighter wheels and the tune, but definitely the gear spacing that shorter final drive is the biggest difference that I'm noticing, and the most welcome. I really like the spacing of these gears now. I mean, the car just feels so much more active and rev happy, and it's just it's definitely a more enjoyable driving experience. Alright. Let's see what we cruise at on the highway. So let's get it back to normal driving here. No more of this crazy on-ramp hoonery. Flat out in 6th gear. Still not a lot of power, but it's definitely an improvement. So let's see, cruising at 70 miles an hour, you are sitting right at 3250, maybe 3200 RPM. So I believe my BRZ was sitting at like 3000 RPM at 70. This is about another 200 RPM difference. Not that big of a deal. And oh man, it's well worth it for the added enjoyment you get. This 6-speed is just such a joy to row through too. They've definitely made an improvement on shift feel since my car, at least. Let's see what the track mode stability control does. I'm curious to try that out later today at M1 Concours when we can get the car to move around a little bit. Supposedly they made some tweaks so that it's not as interfering. Before, traction control would just completely cut power, and it would just completely cut your throttle, and it would be there's the super fun kill police. But hopefully this is a little bit more natural feeling and a little bit more fluid. The whole point of traction and stability control systems, I think, is that you almost don't want to notice them. They do their job kind of in the background. And in a sports car like this, you don't want it to be noticeable. You just want it to be kind of to enhance, but also make your driving experience just a little bit more enjoyable. There's definitely a lot more grip from the revised suspension, and it rides so much better. That's such a welcome change to this car. I'm so happy that they did that. Alright, so let's see here. We'll get some speed up and see what the stability control does here. The biggest difference I'm noticing is just how better turn in is, at least with handling. It's so sharp to turn in, and instead of understeering, the front end darts in a little bit better mid corner, and there's just a little bit more adjustability with that front end, which is a very welcome addition. I noticed that on track. It's kind of hard to test it out here on the street, but I noticed that when doing track testing at the last event that I drove one of these in the automatic, that the front end was just so adjustable, and it was really a really sweet handling package. even sweeter than it was before. Because my BRZ has always been prone to understeer, and the FRS has just been so stiff, and you just slide all over the place. But this 8.6 really is a good balance between the two, and it strikes kind of that ride handling. It's almost perfect. I mean, I really, really think this is the best handling sports car under like 50 grand. I mean, it's awesome right now. They've set up the suspension very well. You know, when you read the spec sheet and you read the press releases on these cars, you see the changes that they've made, and it's a few things here and there, but when you actually get in and compare it to the old FRS, to the old BRZ when they first came out, these are significant differences, and they've really, really improved the car overall, in my opinion. I just don't like the looks of the new 8.6 front end, but that's my only complaint about this car, and that there's only buttons on the steering wheel on one side but not the other, which I think is kind of strange. Speaking of the steering wheel feels nice. The leather is a good material. It's not quite as grippy as I would like, but it feels really premium, and it's definitely an improvement. And the wheel seems a little bit smaller. I think it's only like a few millimeters smaller ultimately, but it's a good size. It's nice. But the leather is very good in this. Same deal with the seats. I think these are some of the best seats on the market right now. I've done 1,000-mile journeys in these seats, and they're fantastic. They're super comfortable. They really keep you in. I've never wanted anything more from these seats in my driving experience. I like some of the Alcantara additions. This is nice. Yeah, good stuff. Alright, so there's track mode, kind of killing the fun a little bit. Of course, I was being super stupid, but it's still got a little sideways. It's still got a little bit of drift action in there. All right, so there you go, guys. There's your first impressions video. Better brakes, better shifting, better engine, better power band availability with a shorter final drive, better suspension, better turn-in, better grip, better, more better, lots of better with the new FRS or the new GT86 or the new 8.6 or whatever it's called. I think it's just the 8.6. Yeah. I always try to think about like what I would get if a deer jumped out in front of my BRZ and totaled it. You know, what would happen in that situation? What would I go out and buy? You know, let's knock on wood. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But if tomorrow I didn't have my BRZ, an elephant escaped from the zoo and just sat on it and totaled it, what would I buy? What would I get? Would I get another BRZ or 8.6? Would I get something else? Would I buy something used? I'm kind of leaning, I would probably buy one of these. I would probably buy the 8.6. And the reason being, this car fits my lifestyle so well, and it fits my needs so well. I've never had any issues with practicality, cargo space. I mean, you could still fit people in the back seat. If you need 4 seats, you need 4 seats. But I don't necessarily need 4 seats. And in the situations that I do drive 3 or 4 people around, it's very rare. You know, either someone else can drive, or it hasn't been an issue. So what I'm saying is, there's tons of trunk space. You fold down the seats in this car, and it kind of just turns into this really practical proposition. I can fit my mountain bike in the back, and I've never really had a situation where there's been something that I've needed to haul, unless if it's like large furniture or something like that. There's tons of space. It gets great gas mileage, and the biggest thing is this car is so enjoyable and so fun to drive. on a daily basis. I look forward to driving it. It makes each journey just a little bit more enjoyable, and it's fun. It's good to own. Some cars, you know, you buy them and they're well thought out decisions where you've kind of looked at the spec sheet and looked at your needs. And, you know, my Mark 7 or my Mark 6 GTI was a decision that I thought a lot about. And when I bought my BRZ, I went out that day to look at Chevy Volts and ended up just buying a BRZ out of kind of just on a whim. It was totally unexpected. I did not wake up that morning thinking, I'll go look at BRZs today. And, you know, it's the best car I've ever owned. It's my favorite car ever. I've just, you know, it's, as a daily driver, it is like a streetable, fun, enjoyable sports car. It's been perfect. And the new 8.6 is even better. So, you know, would you, if this is the direction that you want your car to go in, which I would say most FT86 owners do want, this new 8.6 solves a lot of those problems. And, you know, would you buy a new car with a warranty, or would you buy an old car for 10 grand less and, you know, do some of the mods to, you know, meet this car halfway? I think the engineering in this car is done better than a lot of the aftermarket mods have done. So if you're buying a new 8.6, you're kind of getting a lot of that stuff just done already. One thing I might consider for my personal car is swapping out the differential, because that's a big difference. Yeah. Good stuff. I'm thoroughly impressed. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. We're going to be taking this out to track here in a little bit. Actually, very shortly. I need to get going. And basically just seeing what it does. And, yeah, I wonder if it'll still do donuts. It'll still do donuts. All right, later, guys. We'll end on that note. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.